yesterday I did a video. Yesterday, the big news in all of sports yesterday was obviously the news about Juan Soto, and I'm gonna tie back to Juan Soto in just a second. But the big news was Juan Soto. The big news was um, Juan Soto signing his 15-year deal, $765 million, and deciding to basically tell the New York Yankees, no, I'm not going to play at Yankee Stadium. I'm going to go to Citi Field. I'm not going to play for the prestigious franchise. I'm going to play for the franchise that right now that owner is looking to invest. He's going to do whatever the hell he can. That's the big news. The big news was, and I put out a video yesterday basically talking about why I understood why the Mets did it. I understood why the Yankees wanted him. I understood why the Red Sox and Toronto were all going after him. But I don't think it's a good move. I don't think it's a good contract. But at the end of the day, I understand why they were doing it. And I also understood why the Dodgers were, yeah, we're in the mix, but we're not really in the mix. This is what happens after that unfolded. And we all knew once Juan Soto picked his spot, then Teoscar Hernandez conversation was going to come up next. I'm gonna say this, and I think most people who are on this chat who are baseball fans, um, Teoscar Hernandez was a really, really important piece for the Dodgers this past year. When I was doing the show with Travis over at 710, every time T-Raj and I, we talk baseball, and Travis really, as good as it gets when it comes to talking Major League Baseball and talking baseball, genuine interest since he was a kid, so you could just tell it's in his blood. But I remember when they signed Shohei Ohtani, and after that, the ripple effect came. Then came Glasnow. Then came Yamamoto. I don't know in what order. Glasnow, Yamamoto, and then eventually Teoscar Hernandez. I remember Trav telling me, he's like, Al, Teoscar Hernandez is a baller. Like that's a big piece that the Dodgers just got that's kind of going quietly under the radar. And I want to say Teoscar was he, 20 and some change for 1 year. And he mentioned, he's like, this guy's an all-star. Literally, he's an all-star. Okay. Season starts. It's so easy to forget about Teoscar Hernandez because of the lineup. If Teoscar Hernandez was on a different team, Teoscar's in the lineup. The problem with the Dodgers was you had Shohei that took 90% of the conversation. Then you had Mookie that took, you guys know what I'm talking about. Mookie after that, then Freddie Freeman. There were times that Shohei would make Mookie look like he was a regular player. Mookie's one of the greatest players in all of baseball. But you had those three players. They took all the attention, all the energy, Shohei taking a big portion of that. And then don't forget, there's other Dodgers that have been there that have come through. There's guys like Max Muncy. There's guys like Will Smith. There's other names that have been with the Dodgers organization for a long time. Teoscar Hernandez was such a important key piece in that Dodgers run. I mean, if I just look in the playoffs, forget everything that happened in the season. With the Dodgers down 5-3 while the Yankees were collapsing, they were still just 1 out away. Garrett Cole of getting out of that inning. What was it? The fifth inning, sixth? I can't remember off the top of my head. They were still 1 out away, even with all the mistakes and the errors that they made, of getting out of the inning with a 5-3 lead until Teoscar Hernandez came up with 2 on, men at the corners, with 2 outs, and hit the ball over Aaron Judge's head that tied the game in Game 5 of the World Series. That was Teoscar Hernandez. He was a big piece. He was such a big piece for the Dodgers that I think a lot of Dodger fans really went out of their way to say, why would we go after Juan Soto and pay the man $700 million, $600 million? By the way, I can't even remember what the conversation was before Teoscar signed and before the rumors started coming out. But during the or before Soto signed, before the World Series ended, I don't know what you thought Juan Soto's number is going to be. Maybe you thought it was going to be 500. Maybe you thought it was going to be 600. You think it was going to be 765? Of course not. This is the risk that now comes with the Dodgers, and there's nothing they could do about this. There's nothing they could do about it. But I will tell you, if I'm the Boston Red Sox, or if I'm the Toronto Blue Jays, or if I'm the New York Yankees, if I'm a team that was in the sweepstakes to go get Juan Soto and I struck out, I'm putting all my attention towards Teoscar Hernandez. I'm overpaying for Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar Hernandez is a player that has been in the league for a while. that was incredibly, incredibly successful for the Dodgers last year, is a veteran, now has a World Series under his belt, is clutch. He has a lot of things that, most teams really, really want to see in their lineup. But here's the most important thing: if you're any of the teams that I talked about, you're trying to save face. If you're the Yankees, you want to come back to the drawing board and you want to tell your fan base, guys, we didn't go get Juan Soto, but here's what we did do. We went and got Teoscar Hernandez. We went and got a starting pitcher, and then we went and got this player, whatever the case is. We went and got three players that, yes, we didn't spend the 760 that we offered to Juan Soto, but we got really good players that we think that can add to this team. If you're Toronto, you do the same thing, so forth and so forth. The risk that the Dodgers have, and again, it's not anything really they can do about it. If I'm a squad out there that missed out on Juan Soto, I'm overpaying for Teoscar Hernandez. I am. I'm overpaying for Teoscar Hernandez. What are the Dodgers offering you? 3 years, 60. We're going to offer you 4 years, 85. I'm overpaying for Teoscar Hernandez. I'm overpaying because I think he's a good player. I'm overpaying because he's somebody that can come through in big situations. I'm overpaying because I didn't get Juan Soto and I need to save face to my franchise. And that's part of the way I'm going to save face. A lot of Dodger fans did not care about Juan Soto. They kept saying, go re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. Now that Soto's done, now that Soto has found a home, now that Soto got paid $765 million, there's going to be some real competition for Teoscar Hernandez. It's really ultimately just going to come down to him. Where does he want to be? I know people can all say, you saw some of his quotes after the World Series, how much he loved being in, obviously how much he loved playing for the Dodgers and coming through and all that stuff. When the dust settles and you're sitting there with your agent and your family, okay, it's business now. If Teoscar Hernandez got overpaid and ended up signing with the New York Yankees or Toronto, I'm just using teams as an example. Maybe he ends up somewhere else. But if he ended up signing somewhere else and got overpaid, I don't think Dodger fans are going to be mad at Teoscar Hernandez. They're probably going to say, we get it. We understand. You went out and got paid. Now, what they could be upset about, they could be upset at the front office and say, you got to find a way to bring that guy back to LA. He was a key piece. There's kind of an interesting scenario here for the Dodgers because I don't know how much is going to be under their control. Or maybe there will be, but the Dodgers are also a smart organization. They try not to overpay too much, whatever that number means or whatever that means. For all I know, they're going to defer all the payments anyways. But I think this is going to be interesting now. Now that Soto is out of the way, what's it going to look like and what's that contract going to look like for Teoscar Hernandez? I think it's going to be expensive. I think there are going to be teams out there that say, we have to go try to get this dude because of what happened. Like I said, because of what happened in the Soto sweepstakes. All right, let's see what we got here. Anything else you need? You just named off 39 players. What the hell's going on here? Here's what we got here. Dodgers offered $600 million to Soto, but can't give Teoscar a bag. Come on. Maybe they're going to give him a bag. But I think that's what it's going to take to get him. And if I'm one of these other teams, I'm telling you, if I'm one of these other teams, especially teams like the Yankees that just got to the World Series, right? We're certainly in an opportunity where AL is not nearly as good as the NL. I definitely 100% think that there's going to be a team out there that overpays. Okay, did you guys see this? Damn, would he get 100 mil plus? I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not really sure what his market is, but that's only because I didn't know Juan Soto was worth $765 million.